Seeing Chef Ramsey lose his mind is pretty much just another day on the job on Hell's Kitchen.
Same shit, different day.
But sometimes, the heat in the kitchen is so high that even the chefs end up losing control. Just like this time when the entire team went bonkers thanks to one contestant. Yeah, all thanks to this guy right here.
Now, I am definitely gonna win this competition. Now, I know it.
Oh man, Raj, that guy took the drama on Hell's Kitchen to a whole other level. But for today, let me draw your focus to the Paramedic Service Challenge, when Raj served Chef Ramsey a dish which was majorly lacking in seasoning.
Gotta get these out. Not an ounce of seasoning.
Like none whatsoever. Of course, Chef Ramsey was definitely not pleased, and as a consequence, he made the entire blue team suffer for it. Instead of simply kicking them out, each of the contestants had to pay for Raj's bland creation.
Hurry up! Get out of the way, get out of the way. Whoa, get out of the way. Taste it, taste it, taste it, taste it, taste it, taste it.
But Raj wasn't about to take that lying down. He got into a heated argument, stormed off, and flipped the entire script on Chef Ramsey.
What do you? Don't argue with Chef.
Don't talk back to Chef. He says something, you say yes, Chef, and move on.
Oh yeah, it was one of the times when Chef Ramsey was on the receiving end of a contestant's fiery spirit. And as if that wasn't enough, the team ended up losing, and Raj's attempt to stand up for himself got crushed by Trev.
What's unfair about it? You suck. You guys gonna keep going with it?
Yes.
Till it gets through that thick skull of yours.
Yeah, Hell's Kitchen at its finest, right? As for the punishment, they were handed the colossal task of cleaning both the kitchens, complete with polishing a staggering 250 stemware glasses. Ugh, a true kitchen nightmare. But before the punishment kicked off, Chef Ramsey inquired about the blue team's missteps. While Trev pointed a finger at a lack of teamwork that night, Raj had a slightly different take on it.
Well, I tried to, but everybody just went ahead and did their own thing anyway. And that's what you guys did.
Raj's statement quickly ignited Trev's fury, leading to a rapid escalation into a heated argument.
Stop! He's basically screaming at us to get together as a team, and it's a bunch of individuals still.
Now, how many of you saw that coming, huh? Anyway, let's fast forward to the punishment, shall we? Raj seemed to be putting in effort. Well, that is if you consider doing absolutely nothing as hard work.
Don't be scared, Raj. Jump in. Everybody's polishing. You're just kind of standing there blowing it with me.
Trev, however, wasn't having any of it. He pushed Raj to join the polishing efforts, but Raj felt that it was unfair, leaving him isolated from the rest of the team. To add fuel to the fire, Trev noticed watermarks on one of the glasses, intensifying the tension even further.
Watermarks. Raj, seriously, I mean, can you not see that? Are you gonna look?
Just do his glasses over.
As they scrubbed through the red kitchen, tensions hit a boiling point. Trev caught Raj partially covering a loaf of bread with ceramic wrap, further adding to the frustration.
Aside from sleeping and fucking eating and running your goddamn jaw, you gotta be good at something. We gotta figure out what you're good at. You gotta be good at something, right?
The rest of the blue team was also at their limits, and, well, Vinny was ready to speak his mind without hesitation.
You might have been cooking the longest. Obviously, you cooked in shit restaurants for the last 30 years.
Feeling targeted, Raj accused the team of unfairness, and this prompted Trev to completely explode.
Go home and stuff yourself with Twinkies so you have a fucking heart attack on your recliner.
And, well, what do you think happened next?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
The confrontation reached new heights as Raj yelled inches away from Trev's face, calling everyone on the team snakes. Boris and Russell intervened, pulling Raj aside, urging him to calm down. And guess what Raj's solution was? Tai Chi, of course. Despite being on the winning team, Raj faced elimination due to his consistent poor performances in the first 3 services and being clearly outmatched in the competition. Raj found himself pretty much disliked by all of his teammates, leading to his premature exit. And why do I say premature? Well, I definitely think we could have tolerated Raj for a bit longer, right? Jokes aside, this next contestant was so damn annoyed that she blew things out of proportion.
Hey, madam.
Oh, let me in the kitchen.
What are you doing?
Just let me in the kitchen.
Now, facing off with Chef Ramsey can surprisingly have its perks. I mean, take Tanil for instance. She unleashed her frustration on the boss man himself during one of the challenges, and the entire kitchen practically went silent. Fed up with his constant complaints about her portion sizes, Tanil decided to give him a taste of his own medicine before he inevitably sent her packing. So, here's what happened. In Season 6, during the 6th dinner service, Tanil was holding it down on garnish duty. And you won't believe the move she pulled to drive Chef Ramsey up the wall.
Come here, why is all this spinach cooked like this? You've got 12 portions in there.
She cooked up more spinach than necessary, and Chef Ramsey didn't mince words in expressing his displeasure about it. But it was what he said next that brought the worst out of her.
Cook the spinach to order, you lazy cow!
Oh man, that definitely struck a nerve. and she couldn't help but fire back with a barb of her own.
Chef Ramsey needs to learn how to show some respect, especially when I'm up there working hard.
I mean, I could totally understand why Tanil wasn't willing to tolerate that nonsense. She believed that Chef Ramsey needed a lesson in respect, especially given her hard work. However, she also owned up to her mistakes in taking shortcuts and causing Chef Ramsey some headaches. But did Ramsey ease up? Nope, he kept the insults coming.
Fuck you.
He's a disrespectful British motherfucker.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected Tanil to blow up like that. And before you know it, the situation took a turn for the worse. Though Chef Ramsey had a good reason to be mad at her. I mean, have you checked out the state of her mashed potatoes?
Just that's the way I get treated. What the f is that? Fuck off, will you, yeah?
They were stubbornly stuck to the pot, and as if that wasn't enough, it wasn't even enough to feed 2 people. But what added a humorous twist to this chaotic scene was Tanil's perspective on the whole mess.
Yeah, take something up to the past, it's too much. Take something else, it's not enough. You just gotta find something to bitch about.
Chef Ramsey accused her of not taking things seriously and threw some harsh words her way. Crap, pathetic, disgusting. Chef Ramsey couldn't stop himself from slamming the dish. And that right there was the tipping point for Tanil.
You upset now?
Yeah, I'm fucking
Seems
pissed
like you
off.
are, because you're crap.
You're crap.
Now, what was Chef Ramsey's reaction? Well, you gotta see this.
Hey, madam, get out.
Yes, no problem, chef.
Get fucking
Oh,
out.
I'm out.
Yup, this man booted her out of the kitchen while she continued hurling insults at him.
Fuck you. I'm pissed off, and I'm trying to maintain my cool from slapping him in his jaw.
The dude simply didn't care. But did it end there? No way, Tanil was on a roll.
You're lying.
Busting my ass. Get off
No,
my
you're back.
back.
Get off your
Get
back.
off my back.
You're
You're
back.
busting my ass.
Chef Ramsey finally had enough and told her to shut up and behave. And believe it or not, while I was expecting an on-the-spot elimination here, Chef Ramsey decided to give her another chance.
I'm on my way back into the kitchen, chef.
Let's go.
Get off my station, please.
Well, it was Tanil's fire and passion that brought her back to the kitchen. And that comeback propelled her into the Final Four, and Chef Ramsey couldn't help but feel proud. If you ask me, I think that's the most insane turnaround this show has ever seen. Speaking of contestants reaching their breaking point, let's skip over to another intense moment.
I'm gonna do the punishment. I just don't want to shake your hand right now. Am I okay? Is that okay?
Back
Okay.
Right in the midst of the Dome Challenge, Summer went all in and managed to grab herself some flat iron steak, lotus root, rice noodles, and anchovies. And no, she didn't hesitate to nudge Ileana a bit to secure those prime ingredients and transform those anchovies into a killer broth. Summer, the second in line from the red team to have her dish evaluated during the judgment, faced off against Abe. And here's a look at what she served up.
Flavorful broth with the noodles, seared steak on top.
Are the anchovies going in your broth?
Yes, that's
amazing.
what make the flavor.
Good choice.
A delectable flat iron steak with lotus roots and rice noodles. But here's the big question, did she manage to impress the judges?
Well, first of all, this lotus chip, we're gonna just order bags of these for my next little adventure to watching movies.
And what's the heat in that? What do you use?
Red chilies.
Some people in my kitchen can just eat them whole. I have a tiny little piece and I'm like, whoosh.
The judges ranted and raved about the crispy bits and the perfect amount of heat. She absolutely nailed that round. And Summer was finally feeling like she was stepping up her game in the kitchen. But here is where the plot thickens. The red team clinched the challenge 4-2, earning them a rooftop dance party and some swanky hex-clad cookware sets. Not sponsored. Anyway, the sheer joy that swept across Summer's face was so hard to miss.
I really needed this. I'm so happy.
However, this is when an unexpected twist unfolded.
I'm gonna pick Summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
Summer, welcome to the Blue B team.
Alejandro, of all people, decided to play his punishment pass card on her. This meant that she had to switch over to the blue team for their punishment, preparing beets for a beetroot risotto that night. Oh no, she wasn't having that, especially after scoring a point for her team. This left her furious, and what she ensued was downright insane.
It's okay, baby.
I'm not in the mood right now.
Don't take it out on us.
I'm not in the mood right now.
Abe's attempt to cool things down got swiftly brushed aside, and he wasted no time delivering some words to Summer.
If you're pissed
don't
off,
be turned up
that's
on
your
me.
fault. So you make yourself unlikable, and that's what it is.
My team has a problem with me?
All right.
Okay.
Back at the dorms, she aimed to settle things with Abe, but he could still sense that she was simmering. She told him not to treat her like a child, but he believed that her attitude was the reason why the other women didn't like her. The whole situation irked the rest of the guys, and Abe didn't exactly extend a warm welcome when Summer had to join their side. It's a bit ridiculous how they chose to channel their frustration onto other contestants over something as trivial as that. Now, let's journey into the realm of another contender who, through a remarkable sequence of missteps, dragged down her entire team into the depths of disaster. In the midst of the charity night dinner service, Sandra found herself in a culinary conundrum. Entrusted with the rack of lamb course, she and Jason ventured into a captivating disagreement over her lamb breading technique.
No.
But chill, they're too hot still.
No, you cook them 90% and then you put the breading on.
Yeah.
Because who needs to crust the lamb right away, huh? Sandra's steadfast commitment to defying the fundamental rule of it being cooked 90% before breading left the entire kitchen confused. But this person right here couldn't help but speak up.
Sandra doesn't know how to cook a fucking rack of lamb. It's ridiculous.
And just when you thought the kitchen was cooling off, Jason finally reached his limit with Sandra's lamb philosophy. And as a result, he decided to share a piece of his mind.
Cut between the bones, please.
You can't do that. They have to be equal size.
Diagonal.
Oh, Sandra. I try and help her out and she's like, no.
Well, I'm sure that pushed Sandra into reconsidering her lamb handling prowess. And just when you thought the chaos couldn't get any wilder, Chef Ramsey dropped the bomb that the lamb was cold.
Lamb's not that hot. Bitch does not know how to cook meat and it pisses me off.
Is that lamb cold as well?
Then Sandra, in a move against Chef Ramsey's own advice, boldly ordered the blue team to flash cook the lamb. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well.
Yeah, that's overcooked. Is there more lamb? Talk to Sandra.
There is no more lamb.
Tragedy struck when they not only overcooked the lamb, but also ran out of portions and the blue team literally hit rock bottom. Sandra, trying to salvage the situation, suggested something that completely ticked off Ramsey.
Please cut the tops off a little bit, heat it up.
Leave me alone.
While Jason bluntly blamed her for the mayhem, the blue team, in a generous move, served a solitary slice of lamb to their 12-top table. And Sandra, who was left drowning in shame, couldn't even face Chef Ramsey. In the end, both the teams earned the prestigious title of joint losers, leading to the inevitable nomination of 2 sacrificial lambs.
So, Sandra and who else?
I know I'm gonna get fucking nominated.
Eventually, Sandra voluntarily put herself on the chopping block and openly admitted to her mistakes, but highlighted her strengths and determination to bounce back. Unfortunately, she never got the chance to. In her exit interview, Sandra gracefully accepted that it just wasn't her night. She left the kitchen with her head held high and, surprisingly, no regrets. But this next contestant really took the chaos up a notch, driving both their fellow chefs and those of us watching from home crazy. I mean, she clearly pushed Robert to his absolute limits. So, in episode 7, the blue team lost the leftovers challenge. They got stuck with prepping both kitchens for the night service, along with polishing the top-up plates. And this is where things got really interesting. During the punishment, Lacy seemed to be on another planet, struggling to figure out where to put the plates despite Robert's crystal clear instructions to take them outside for polishing. Like, seriously girl, are you playing dumb or just putting on a show? Tempers hit the roof when Robert pointed out her mistake with the oven tray.
You're not supposed to do that, Lacy.
Then I fucked up. Then it's not your fucking
You need to
problem.
stop right now and listen to what we're trying to tell you.
Poor Robert was beyond frustrated with Lacy.
I'm so sick of Lacy. I'm about to use a Jedi mind trick and just choke the shit out of that bitch mentally.
See, Lacy had this talent for getting under everyone's skin. Despite thinking she was a perfectionist, she couldn't resist clashing with others, creating constant tension in the kitchen. In fact, Jay and Danny tried to pitch in and be peacemakers, reminding Lacy that Robert was just trying to help.
That bitch has gotta go, man.
But Lacy, who could just never keep her mouth shut, decided to shout back at him.
I'm not if I fight with anybody right now, I'm leaving. I swear.
You're leaving?
Last thing we need.
Things escalated to the point where Robert suggested that Lacy would be better off in a psychiatric ward than Hell's Kitchen. But I mean, what's the difference, right? Anyway, in all seriousness, the blue team lost the service and, as expected, Robert nominated Lacy. But wait, there's more.
I'm constantly stressed dealing with your fucking emotional bullshit.
How do you think Lacy reacted to that?
You've just sat here and fucking blabbed your shit to me.
Yup, she decided to bite back. The argument seemed never-ending because once again, Robert unleashed his fury.
That you gave a fuck since you've been here. You're fucking left your team up there where they're busting their ass.
He made it clear that he wanted Lacy gone due to her earlier threat to quit. When Chef Ramsey asked Robert how it felt to get his rant off his chest, he admitted that it felt great. The relief on his face must have been something else to see, huh? But somehow, both of them managed to survive elimination, but that didn't mean their mutual hatred was left behind. While Lacy seemed indifferent, Robert had a few choice words about her.
Lacy's like a cockroach. She's like the Teflon Don. Nothing can touch that bitch.
Like, how was Robert supposed to keep his cool? It's obvious how anyone who comes across Lacy was inevitably going to lose theirs. But there have also been times when jealousy led to chefs losing it. So I'm talking about Season 1, Episode 8, when Ralph's usual calm demeanor was put to the test. In the Leftovers Challenge, Ralph went all out, squeezing every bit of flavor out of what he was working with. And Elsie couldn't help but notice his efforts.
He's got all these pans going, and I'm just throwing in my stuff, into my pot, making my chicken soup.
When Ralph presented his sauteed chicken drumsticks with thyme sauce to Chef Ramsey, it looked like a dish straight out of a restaurant. But just then, a certain little detail stopped his hopes in their tracks.
Flavor, not bad. Unfortunately, the raw onion, very, very crunchy. Not a clever utilization of the ingredients.
Well, losing out to Elsie hit Ralph super hard, especially since she wasn't a professional chef, and Chef Ramsey practically drooled over her winning chicken soup.
That person is Elsie.
Frustration got the better of him. Jealousy can be a bitter pill to swallow, especially in the high-stakes world of Hell's Kitchen. But things were about to get worse. Elsie's casual remark about the challenge being better than prep work struck a nerve with Ralph.
I haven't won a challenge since I've been here. I feel like I got robbed. Bad for Ralph, good for Elsie. She's gonna go play with somebody with the knives tomorrow.
It seems like Ralph was already on the edge since he hadn't managed to clinch a victory yet. The plot thickened even further, with Ralph's punishment prepping the kitchen for the night's service. To make matters worse, Ralph had to watch Elsie's appearance on Good Day Live. Like, talk about adding insult to injury, huh?
Good Day Live! Killing me now!
I could only imagine the thoughts running through his mind about how she scored such a cool reward. And when Elsie returned, you have to see how Ralph greeted her.
Hi, guys. Did you see her?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we did tune in.
His smile was practically plastic. If you ask me, maybe Ralph should have channeled that energy into improving his own dish instead of getting worked up over what everyone else was working on. But hey, we wouldn't have much of a show if that was how everyone approached their problems, huh? But that reminds me about this time from season 19 when two contestants named Mark and Declan were at each other's throats. In episode 3, tensions reached new heights in the dorms when Mark, determined to rally the men after losing 2 members, passionately declared that they had to win the following day. However, Declan made a remark that you've got to hear.
We gotta win tomorrow. Straight up, man. We have to win. If we can, that speaks to all of us, man. Think about it.
Every day you gotta win.
And so the clash of the century began. To add fuel to the fire, Declan accused Mark of having a Napoleon complex. Josh was just waiting for Mark to explode at any given moment now.
Stop the dick swinging, dude. I get it.
Man, I feel like I could shake you up and you just pop open like soda.
Amidst all the chaos, Mark's earlier decree seemed almost comical, leaving Declan feeling like a monkey riding a bicycle inside his head. But what happened between Mark and Declan after the wedding brunch service challenge in episode 4 was even crazier. So when the blue team had to face a pretty humiliating defeat, the tensions skyrocketed. First, Declan declared that he would take charge of the blue kitchen. However, his authority was quickly challenged when he was reminded of his overcooked egg blunder.
I'm taking lead of this kitchen for all services.
You can't cook an egg.
Oh yeah, I can. Cooked every fucking egg.
Handle yourself.
Hard boiled.
And you can probably guess what happened next.
You listen to me, dude.
We're not arguing. We're not arguing.
Kiss my ass, dude.
We're in the dining room.
A full-blown argument erupted, with Peter and Cody trying to play peacemakers, reminding them about the couples watching in the dining room. The blue team's punishment involved making a whopping 1,600 cupcakes for the wedding couples. But back in the dorms, Mark wasn't willing to take the back seat anymore. He asserted his leadership skills and confronted Declan on the patio, refusing to respect his authority.
I'm gonna stand behind you, or take command from you. Ain't gonna happen. I'm here to win.
The argument reached its boiling point when Declan accused Mark of disrespect, and Mark simply brushed it off.
You're up in my face. I'm sitting down. You're like that. So that's twice you've disrespected me. Come at me again, and you're gonna see the knuckle sandwich.
Now, come on, guys. Slow down. Why don't you save that energy to better your skills instead? If it wasn't already obvious, Hell's Kitchen is a battleground that could even turn friends into foes. Like, take Robin and Kim, for example. One of the wildest showdowns to have ever taken place on the show, in my opinion. But I'm positive that I'm not even scratching the surface here. If you've got a name that I've missed that would be perfect for this list, don't forget to drop them in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. And hey, you can now visit my social media pages to stay updated with all of my content. Also, do not forget to check out my latest video right here, since it's even crazier.